Dear CEOs and industry leaders, you are most graciously welcome to Akul Mac Business Bunker. This is a forum where you are able to showcase your products to the masses, to the investor, to the prospects, and to your client. And if you want to promote your company and yourself, you have landed at the right place. Before we continue, do like and subscribe our channel. Friends, today's guest needs no introduction. She is a very, very senior, seasoned professional joining us from Singapore. Her name is Farida Charania, and she is the chairman of Career Zoom. So, without further ado, let's welcome her.
Hi, CK. Always happy to be on your show. Hope you're doing well and hope all our viewers are doing well as well.
Well, Farida, thank you for joining our show. Everything is fine. It's quite cold here in India. Temperature outside is about 6 degrees. So I think we're enjoying the chill here. But I think let's heat up our environment. The question is that there has been a lot of expectation in terms of recovery of job market, but I think most of the predictions are that it will be slow. And since you deal globally with many entrepreneurs and CEOs, we want to take your advice on this particular thing. Your opinion, is it going to slow down or not? What do you think?
Okay. So I think, look, I am not poised for an opinion here, but I'll share some facts. So recently, there was a new report from the United Nations International Labour Organization, and it basically says that the global job market recovery is going to be slow this year. In fact, the number of hours worked around the world in 2022 will be at least 1.8% lower than that of the fourth quarter of 2019, which is equivalent to almost 52 million full-time jobs. And now this is the global, these are the global numbers. And the forecast downgrade means that it will be at least 2 years before global unemployment returns to pre-pandemic levels. It would have gone better, but as the Omicron variant spreads, it hinders the reopening of businesses, and therefore less labor is required. So it is going to impact, and I have a feeling, looking at the data, that it might be even lower than 1.8% lower than 2019. So it's not all hunky dory, but yes, I do believe that the pandemic is the major reason for a slowdown in the job market.
All right. So I think uh, you are absolutely right. And in fact, the Omicron and other COVID variants are also making sure that people maintain social distancing and, accept the uh, work from home scenario rather than hybrid, because I think a lot of people were talking about hybrid and next year everything will be fine, etc., etc. So I have another question from for you to answer, and that is, considering the digital wave, what are the skills required by prospective employees, so that they are sellable in the market, they are in demand? What do you think are the new skills required here?
Sure. Sure. So, CK, first, some data. It's basically, I mean, there is a lot to unpack in the coming weeks, and, we will see how it folds, because this whole new variants coming up from time to time is really hindering the reopening of businesses, as I said. And we might be in this situation for a long time. Hybrid still might be the way forward, but it's not going to be that quick looking at the scenario today. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong in this one, but it doesn't seem like that. Now, few skills which are, kind of key, which basically, would put people in front of possible employers, or, probable employers. The prospective employees and employers, everyone needs to have leadership skills. Now, I would say, why leadership skills? Because you are working in isolation. and everyone will need to kind of step up and take initiatives to do things. Like for instance, I will just share that so my team is across different parts of the world, and because of people not being in offices, it's even more difficult because we don't meet anyone. So I actually had a very interesting grievance from one of my teammates saying that we are not meeting and I don't feel the connect with others in the team. I feel the connect with you because I talk to you very often. But because my job is more product design, I don't really kind of get to speaking with everyone else except the technology. So I kind of feel that if someone feels that way, it is up to them to take that leadership and arrange something where people can come together digitally. So I feel that that is something which is going to be extremely important. Taking initiative, showing leadership, it's so imperative. Another thing is flexibility and adaptability, because being flexible is something that we've got used to in the last couple of years. Now, this is the third year of the pandemic. And this is a crucial skill that anyone who's hiring is going to look for. Like, for instance, one of the first questions that I ask when, I bring people on board is that, are you good with working from home? Are you flexible, because our timings could be anything. So I don't care what time you start work, what time you finish work, but have responsibility enough to kind of finish what is assigned to you. Another thing which is which has always been important, but it's more important than ever now, is critical thinking. Now you are in an era where you navigate constantly fake news, contrasting data is available, it's a daily struggle. So it's critical that you are able to think very, very clearly and rationally, because when information is presented, it's very important that you are able to objectively evaluate that information. Like for instance, take an example. If you want to know how does, say, a vanilla ice cream taste, so there are few ways that you can actually find out about the taste of vanilla ice cream. You can speak to 15 people who have had vanilla ice cream, understand what they are saying, or you could go and read about vanilla ice cream, or you could taste the vanilla ice cream, and then you don't need external validation, because then you already know how the vanilla ice cream tastes like. So it's the same thing, because this whole aspect of critical thinking is extremely important. One more thing that I would add is the ability to be tech savvy. Now, tech savvy is something that all of us have kind of gotten used to using technology, but more than ever, it's important now to be really, really tech savvy, because there was a time when you could kind of do a lot of things at the say at the cooler machine, at the coffee machine, or even when you go for lunch, you kind of meet other people from other organizations, etc. But that's becoming very, very scarce now, because you don't have that ability. So, and today digitization is not just in certain parts of the business, it's everywhere. So that is extremely important. Your communication skills, emotional intelligence also is no longer a soft skill, it's a necessity. So I think that's something that, again, people will need to kind of build it. If they don't have, so it's not about speaking a particular language, but the ability to communicate what you are saying. Creativity and innovation, now that has also become extremely important, because in the coming years the business landscape is going to evolve very, very rapidly. It will need to be adapted into very, very rapidly. Like uh, for anyone aspiring to work in any kind of work, will need to tap into their creative mindset in order to see a business through challenges and opportunities it faces. This pandemic has prepared us, which we never learned in school. And 20 years of my career, I never actually anticipated a time like this. So I have had to kind of be very creative. And now that's the skill that not just me, but anyone who's working with people would actually look for. So I think this is my wish list. Not everyone is going to kind of gauge everything, but these are skills which are no longer soft skills, but really hard skills. And this is what employers actually look for.
Absolutely, Farida ji. In fact, I second you on that. In fact, the predictions are that augmented reality will be launched in 2022 by middle of 2022, and that will stir up the whole pot. So I think the exciting times are ahead of us. And that brings me to the third question, which is the employers, what kind of hiring strategy they need to project now. Because, earlier they used to say, hey, I have the best working environment I can offer you. I can give you a career path. I can give you, a nice real estate where you can sit and work. And I can give you a good increment, etc. So none of these things are, valid anymore because people are working from home. So where is the question of good working environment? Where is the question of teamwork? Where is the question of, some of these career path and all that? Because people are very, very uncertain. So how the employers will have to evolve or calibrate their strategy in order to attract their future employees?
I think this is a very difficult question, CK, and I don't think I have like a proper answer to this because all of us are learning. But a few things, which have evolved as very important is that people, they like stability. So now, because there is no question of a good real estate, a good office environment, because people are not really working from offices. That's another issue, and we will talk about it some other day. But people probably look for engagement. Now engagement can come in various ways. Engagement doesn't mean that you send an email with a CC to everybody and everybody is kind of wasting their time looking at something that doesn't concern them, but it's about proper engagement. So one of the things that probably leaders in organizations can do, and this will have to come from people, it can't be something which is, because it's not a drivable behavior. This is something which will have to come from within, and when somebody evolves as a leader, they will need to make sure that they have enough engagement with people who work with them. So that is to give them the confidence that I am available, I'm just a message away. Like for instance, now landlines have completely gone out of sync because nobody is actually using them, really speaking. We are using, and we have all moved to soft phones, so we are either using apps on our phones like Teams, Zoom, etc., which have replaced our telephone VoIP lines, and everyone is accessible. So make that accessibility available to the team, that yes, I'm just a message away. I used to have this tagline, which and my team used to actually laugh because earlier it evolved that I am your friendly neighborhood consultant. Then over the years it became I am just a WhatsApp away. So I think people like me perhaps have done it in the past as well, and it's becoming very, very important. So give that confidence to people who work with you that I'm available. If you need me, I'm available. And if you don't need me, I am still available if you just want to, kind of say hi, and take that initiative sometime. So that is from a leadership perspective. Money is still very important. So a better salary, better increment is still very important, and people actually change jobs for that. So, and it's in fact becoming a lot more important because now if people are working from home, what is it to attract them? So to attract them, there is stability, work stability, there is stability of income. That's what people look at. And then a working environment where digitally also everyone works together. These are three things that I can kind of pinpoint and say are very important. Rest will evolve. Like I said, I don't really have an answer, but this is a wish list.
Well, this is a tough situation for everyone. In fact, the leadership in the industry is still grappling with the point that how they can re-establish the mechanism which will start attracting the best talent into their company. And I also want to add one more point from my side is that there could be a chance, but where employee don't want to get engaged full time. So I think the organizations will have to evolve a method where the employees are not hired full time as a full time employee. So that brings me to my fourth question, and which is the starting point of the gig economy and the Web 3.0, which is going to be launched maybe this year, end of this year or early next year, which will bring a lot of changes in the way we do business. So, considering that most people don't want to get employed full time, maybe they want to do three things in a day. the gig economy is going to come in a big way, and Web 3.0, where uh, the scenario and how the scenario would evolve between employer and employer relationship in years to come.
Okay, this was a long question. I will try to answer it to my ability of understanding it. So I think okay, let's first address this thing of gig economy. So the thing is that gig economy is not new, but the kind of tailwind it got in the last 2 years is unbelievable because it grew like really really fast, and probably that is the way forward. And yes, people may not want to engage full time. They might want to do three things, especially in creative fields where if they are content writers or they are marketing professionals, they don't want to be stuck with, or even developers for that matter, they don't want to be stuck with one particular organization. They want to keep their work interesting, they want to maximize their earning potential, and they know they can do three or four things. In fact, nowadays I see young people, they don't do one thing, they want to do five six things. So yes, gig economy is very important even with larger organizations. Especially the ones that I speak to and I consult, I always tell them that strengthen the core and flex the non-core. So your core organization would be a people that you need always. You will always need a CFO, you will always need a CHRO, you will always need a chief revenue officer, but you may not need an audit professional uh, throughout the year. So take them for the time that you actually need. You may not need, say, a rewards professional through the year. You only need them for some time in the year when you are doing a parity in the market. So get them for that much time. So you keep your core strong. I'm an exercise geek, so I use those analogies a lot in my work. And the thing is that yes, I mean, flex your non-core. So that is going to be the way forward. It's going to be a phygital world. So it's not entirely digital, it's not entirely physical. We are looking at a phygital world where probably maybe this is how it will evolve, where people still meet to kind of maybe discuss things, bond, and work together and stuff, but delivery of most services will actually become digital. And in that situation, gig economy is just going to be the future of work. It's not something that is new, but it will kind of grow a lot more. And maybe the generation after us, so I mean, like people like us who are like late 30s early 40s, we are kind of dinosaurs. So we would probably be at that stage where we would still be in the hybrid, but the generation after us would might be completely on the gig side. They would want to be paid for performance or results rather. We are still in that era where we pay people for completing tasks.
Well, I think I really respect your opinion, and I also believe that the gig economy is going to kickstart finally in a very big way in 2022. And also, we are also sitting at a cusp where there are a lot of new reforms are waiting to happen, and that will determine how the employee and employer relationship will evolve in future. So Farida ji, thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for joining our show.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and wish all our viewers a very safe week ahead. Take care, stay well, stay good care.
Thank you, Farida ji. And viewers, if you want to get engaged with Farida, the email will be published at the end of the video. You can send an email to us and we will make the connection happen. As usual, I will meet you in the next one again.